What do Hardcore Minecraft and Five Nights at Freddy's have in common? I've never managed to survive more than 2 nights in either. I've started numerous hardcore worlds, all ending in disaster, but today I hope to change that and survive 5 nights in Hardcore Minecraft. I loaded into the world and took a nice look around at my surroundings. I started punching a tree, like you do. And since it's a hardcore world, I would like to sleep through my first night, so I can't take any chances on not being able to find iron to shoot these sheep, so I'm going to go ahead and kill them. Eventually I did find this cherry grove, so I decided to get some of this cherry wood. And I've actually attempted this video like 10 times now. Like, the intro is not an exaggeration. I'm very bad at staying alive in Minecraft. Eventually I trekked up this mountain, being careful not to fall in the suspicious snow. Is that what it's called? I don't think it's called suspicious snow. Powdered snow. Not to fall in any powdered snow. And then I found this goat. He was so cute, but I was kind of scared he was going to push me off the mountain, so I decided to head back down for the night. I dug myself a shabby little dirt hole. It's just for tonight, okay? I just need to stay alive through this night, and we don't have time to build a house. But what we do need to do is get some iron armor to protect my fragile little bones. Eventually, I finally found some armor after night 1 was over, and I had officially survived my first night. Everyone say ooh, everyone say ah. Eventually, I headed back up to the surface to get some wood, and ended up planting these saplings and mining this coal. And I did tell myself that I wasn't allowed to be out of my little cave until I had full iron armor, but I decided to keep frolicking around and collecting flowers. But eventually I did get back to work on my mission of getting myself some full iron armor. And then I found this cave, and I learned my lesson from the other, dozen times I attempted this challenge and said, "No way, Jose," and blocked off the entrance. We cannot die on night 3. Or day, I don't think it was night yet. So yeah, day 2. Eventually I went back up to the surface and finally got the wood I went up for. Except this was for something far less productive. I decided that I needed to decorate my little hobbit hole, so I made myself a little entrance. And then I wanted to make the roof out of these deep slate stairs because I usually don't build with deep slate, so I thought it would be cool to experiment with that. And I think it looks rather nice with the cherry wood. I finagled with this roof for a bit. And you can see I continue to finagle with the top of the roof some more. But after a good night's rest, the roof was finally properly finagled. But after a good night's rest, the roof was finally properly finagled, and I put a little door on it. And then it was time to get to work on the inside, because it was looking quite pathetic. I added these little tile floors. And then I dug out the walls so I could replace them with some cherry planks. Now, you may be thinking that a much more efficient use of my time in this challenge would be to, try to get better armor and tools, but, obviously the most important thing that I needed to do right now was to decorate myself a cute little hole in the ground. So that's what I did. And then I got to work making the roof of my mine a little taller, and obviously this was the best decision I ever made in this challenge because I found this giant iron vein. And then I went along, making sure my mine was walkable. And then I finally found some diamonds, and so I scurried back up to get my iron pickaxe before realizing I actually had my iron pickaxe in my inventory the whole time. So I collected the diamond and then got back to mining. Then I started gathering up some more wood so I could finish this wall and the roof of my little house, because the challenge was coming up to an end and I really wanted this project to be finished before then. That was top priority for me. Like, I couldn't feel like I really finished the challenge if my house was just an ugly little dirt hole. So I got to work replacing this roof, and then I got back to digging, because I needed to upgrade. I want to upgrade my tools and my armor to iron before I decide to do something crazy. Wait. Okay, I thought this was night 4. I think this is night... Is this night 5? So anyways, on what I thought was night 4, I continued to dig for iron for my plan on what I was going to do on what I thought was night 5. Now, but before we get into that, I thought it would be cute to have a little wall where I displayed all my achievements in this world, like my first diamond. But then I decided that needed to be like more towards the end of the wall. So I gathered up all the things that I felt like represented milestones in my world and put them on these little shelves. I just needed one more thing, but then I realized I have enough iron to replace some of my copper armor with iron, and then I realized that my old copper chestplate would be perfect for my achievements wall, so I put that there. And then I got back to mining. And then I continued to mine until the sun rose on day 5, and then I mined some more. I somehow hadn't realized it was already the next day, but then my pickaxe broke and I realized I could actually go back up to the surface. I continued to bump my head all the way back up the stairs. And then it was time to get to work, okay? It was time to put my plan in motion, get my tools. I emptied out my inventory and then grabbed some things that I might need. And then I set out on my venture. I thought it would be a good idea to have a bucket of water to break my fall. So I went to go get that from a nearby lake. And then I set back out in search of a cave. Now, I thought it would be such a fun, cool idea to spend the night in a cave. Because who knows what kinds of riches lie beneath. I started lighting up the area so more mobs wouldn't spawn. And then I took on this creeper, and surprisingly, I was able to kill it before it exploded, so I was feeling pretty good, okay? Second creeper. Again, done and dusted without an explosion. So I was starting to feel pretty confident. Like, look how I'm effortlessly taking out these mobs. Perhaps I was feeling a bit too confident, but we'll get to that later. I continued running around, lighting up the area before I finally felt it was safe enough to start mining the iron. Now, I decided it was time to go down. I was ready. I had my tools, I had my armor, I had my confidence, I had my bucket of water. Okay, I was ready. I ate my steak. I did my water thing, and I'm gonna slow down this next clip because I can't even begin to process what is even happening. Okay, you see, I jumped down and my sword is gone. My sword is gone. Let's replay, shall we? You can see it just kind of, you see, it just kind of pops out of my inventory. I don't know how that's even possible. I don't know what happened. I landed, I looked up and I somehow managed to throw it. So I was kind of defenseless, okay? I already knew at this point that this was going to be bad, and things just kind of kept going downhill from there. I tried to run for cover and regenerate some of my health. Maybe see if I can get my sword back. I decided to just make a run for it. Okay, I really need to get my sword back. But I was just getting hit from every angle, okay? I couldn't even make it to my sword. I was on 1 heart. So I cowered in this little corner and literally backed myself into a wall, which was probably a bad idea, but at least I had my shield. Actually, now I'm realizing I had a pickaxe, okay? I probably could have hit them with the pickaxe. It would not have been the most efficient thing, but it would have been better than whatever it is I'm doing right now, okay? And yeah. So anyways, technically I did survive the 5 nights, but let me know in the comments below if this counts as a win. And if you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!